Earth and I fam. Welcome to another flow. You don't need a reason to do things. You don't have to provide an explanation for why you do things. Let's dive in. When we are truly committed to trusting our intuition and being intuitively guided through life, many a times the actions that we take, the positions that we hold, don't initially provide us with a lot of information as to why we're being pulled in that direction, why we're being guided that way. What happens then is we will begin creating false explanations, providing false reasons because we feel like we need to fill a void for someone else. For example, say that you choose to leave a job and you are expected to explain to everybody you interact with why you're leaving the job. Maybe the reason you're leaving the job is intuitively you know it's not a right fit. That's an explanation enough. You also don't need to provide any kind of explanation. As children, who remembers when we would say, well, because why? Or we would have those conversations with our parents as well. There's so much going on in this world that there is always a why. Sometimes, though, the why is unspoken. It's felt. It's not always explained verbally or even mentally. Butterfly. I want you to feel empowered in knowing that you can take action without having to explain it to others or showcase it to others. So much pressure comes from that realm where we feel the need to be understood. It's natural to want to be understood. It really is, because we're community beings. And when we have a level of awareness that is questioning where that fits in our lives, we're going to evolve into a more well-nourished, open human being that inevitably accepts and understands everybody else. Because there's a whole realm of unspoken truths in this experience, and we don't give them enough credit. We always try to dumb them down so that our psyche, our mind, can be part of the conversation. That's not always necessary. We use so much energy as well trying to explain and be understood and provide reasoning that it's not necessary. It's exhausting. It really, really is. As we evolve, as we become more connected to our intuition, that guidance system that always leads us in the way. We understand its cues, we understand its connection and its process. You will always understand why your intuition led you a certain way, provided you a certain something, nudged you in a certain direction. You will always, always, always understand. But that reason does not come until after you fully follow it. It's not going to explain why you should follow it. Just like the political system. They're constantly telling you why you should vote for me, why you should do this. Intuition doesn't do that. It shows you what you should do, gives you the option, and if you decide to go in that direction, you'll understand why. Of course, I can't with these text messages. It's insane. I want to throw my phone away. I'm not even registered to vote. Why am I still getting these? Anyway, that's besides the point. Understanding the way that intuition works is extremely powerful, and it's present to each of us differently. But that is one common theme that I have heard from others, I've seen in life, is that the explanation comes after. The understanding comes after. So you can't provide the explanation to another person because you don't even know it yet. And that's okay. Supporting ourselves in these situations is vital because we can feel like we owe it to another person. We can feel like we are confused or lost or left alone. When we trust our intuition in that moment too, we are nourished, we are safe, we are at the right place at the right time, we are grounded. And a lot of it does come back to spacing, creating that space to where you are able to protect your energy and you're not constantly being bombarded with others' energies. And that is a skill, that is a practice that we all have access to by sitting with self, by listening to self, by trusting self, instead of trying to find those outlets through another. We take on the responsibility and we harness our energy in any way we can that we know is benefiting the greater good and our wholeness, not just simply desires. I love this. I love this so much. And I love the earth and I love sharing these messages. And I love the realization that we don't need to explain ourselves. We don't need to overexert to be seen by another person or to be heard or to be understood. That's why we have to prioritize hearing ourselves, understanding ourselves, being with ourselves. Those are the gateways into fully being understood. You don't want to be understood on the surface. You don't want to be understood in any way that is not your true, authentic way. That's not always an easy thing. It's very uncomfortable, like any type of growth or change. But in true reality, that's the whole point of this experience, is to see the true light of who you are, who we all are. And it's beautiful. And it can't be contained. It can't be put in a box that everyone can see, you know. It's only meant to really be seen by those who you're meant to see. Beautiful. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. And the less that we explain ourselves, the more that we understand. The less that we explain ourselves to others, the more that we understand ourselves. Because when you sit with that for a moment, it can feel really uncomfortable because it's like, oh, well, I want to tell them, you know what they want to hear and you want to tell them that. When you refrain from doing that, you're forced to sit with all of those energies, those thoughts, those impulses, and rewire them to be directed in a different way. The action after that is yours, but we can really go into this autopilot where we're constantly explaining ourselves, and that's all energy. We're using energy in those interactions. When I reflect on my life, I would explain everything to everyone. Whether I was dropping my car off somewhere or I was a couple minutes late or something like that. And of course, I'm not saying this doesn't mean that you shouldn't provide answers at times. Absolutely not. We just don't want to be in this habit of constantly undermining our own decisions or undermining our own reality in a present moment, because that's what we do by providing these lengthy explanations and trying to box them in rather than just riding it out and flowing with what's going on. Wow. It just kind of comes back to me when I think about when I was in a different space than I am now in those kind of things. And I am still evolving in this. We are all always going to be still evolving. It's beautiful to look back on the progress, and it's equally as exciting to look forward to what can come. We're clearing the space for our garden to blossom when we do these things. We're pulling out the weeds that are, absorbing the nourishment that is meant for the flowers that we want to see. Creating those practices and those safeties and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable in these states, it's magic. It's true magic. And you deserve that love and that patience every single moment of every single day. As we wrap up, just a reminder that you need to stop yourself next time you feel like you're over-explaining. You need to stop yourself when you are providing reason for something that you feel does not need a reason. Pause right there. Love the decision that you've made, and see where intuition guides you next. All right, fam. I love you all dearly. I love talking to you guys in the comments, and some of your words are just beautiful. The poems and the insights, truly, that's what it's all about. This community is so meaningful, and the continued growth is a blessing. And I just am so grateful we attracted each other in. And I will see you guys next week, or maybe in the personalized stories. I'll talk to you all soon.